Today we're going to look at a couple of survivors from the 90s. Sort of. Stay tuned. Well, let's get this started with this one. This is a Monogram Pontiac. I can't remember how to pronounce that. It was Dick Trickle's car from the mid-90s, Pontiac Grand Prix. And when I got this one out of the box, it needed some final assembly. The body was already painted. Now, this car was molded in red, this kit was, but the body was painted. As you can see, it was painted pretty good for whenever it was painted. It's not very shiny. So I don't think they clear coated it. They did paint the hood black like they were supposed to. It already had most of the decals installed. It did not have the Tripartite or the 66 decals. Everything else was already installed. The wheels were already painted gold. I did use some Tamiya Panelline Accenter and detailed the wheels a little, but this one was mostly finished. Everything, all the sub-assemblies were together. The roll cage was together. Most of the interior was painted and ready to go together, but it hadn't been installed yet. All I had to do was final assembly. So this is a semi-survivor. It was missing this decal. It's not on the sheet, and it wasn't on the car. But whoever built this before me definitely had some experience under their belt building these kits. So they did a pretty good job on it. Let's get the hood off. It's missing a few parts under the hood. The valve cover being one of them. And missing looks like the head and the valve cover. I can't remember. But they did a pretty good job on it. And the Peak Antifreeze Pontiac Grand Prix from about the same area, driven by Mr. Kyle Petty himself. This one was already painted. It only had about half the decals on it. It had the striping on it, the hood decal, and the roof decal. I'm pretty sure this Peak decal across the back was already on it. Put the rest of them on it. Now, both of these kits are missing the rear wing. I found that odd, which makes me think that it was the same builder who had put both of these together. This one was almost finished when I got it. You know, I just had to put the decals on it. It already had a rolling chassis. Interior was installed. I just had to put the engine in and apply those few decals. I think they did a pretty good job on it. To be perfectly accurate, the wheels should have been black with a red stripe around the outer part of the wheel, like I've been doing on more modern kits. But these look pretty good, and they were already on it, so I just added a little black accent color to detail the wheels a little bit. This one is a little more complete. It's got both heads, and there's paint detail was added by the original builder. like on the air cleaner. So like I said, these are semi-survivors. The paint didn't turn out perfect when the original builder painted it. You know, you can see some. I'm imagining that the rear wing was here, and the glue is what messed up the paint there. But and they did a pretty good job on it. The paint is spot on as far as where the stripes are supposed to be to mate up with the decals. So my dad actually found both of these in a local flea market. It's an indoor flea market that's open 5-6 days a week. You know, they've got several different stores in there. They call them vendors. You know what? You've probably got something similar where you live. But they generally have model kits in there. Yeah, I've picked up several there. Whenever I get around to making part 2 of the Stash Ad update, you'll see some of them. But anyhow, my dad called and told me that they had some that were partially built, almost complete. So I'm calling these semi-survivors, or survivors, sort of. You know, they were pretty much built by someone else, but they weren't finished. But like I said, for the price I had these marked for, I just didn't want to pass them up. I thought it was really neat to be able to finish something that somebody started however many years ago it was. You know, these had some age on them. So I'm calling them semi-survivors. I did have to put in quite a bit of work. So I think it was kind of a joint effort between somebody else and myself. I think it's really neat. So that'll be it for this video. I just want to take a second to thank all my subscribers, all the new guys, all the ones that have been here for a while. You are the very, very best part of YouTube. Thanks so much for the support. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will see you in the next video.
Hold up.
I love the show.